So all these things that we're talking about, no one's expecting you to do it overnight because we know what our intentions are. So we don't have to like declutter 1,000 items in a weekend and feel like we purged our lives of something that's toxic. Doing that is probably more symbolic of other things unrelated to your clothes and your stuff that you need to get rid of in your life, girl. I'm just telling you, maybe it's him. Maybe I got nothing to do with the clothes, okay? So this year, if we're gonna actually spend more time shopping our closets, then our closets have to be more shoppable. Think about all of our favorite stores. When we walk in, we're inspired. It's cluttered free. Everything's beautifully organized, beautifully curated. There's a style, an overall style going on, not just the style of the clothes, but the overall style of the shop, okay? Our closet needs to do that. So let's get started. Welcome to the channel, y'all. I'm Kima and this is Decollection. So this is the channel where we declutter with style, we restyle and remix old fits, we shop our closets, and when we do shop, we shop sensibly and we still look fly. Okay, so today in this video, we're breaking down all of the closet tools and so-called hacks that I had to break up with, and how my closet is not only serving function, but serving aesthetics. So I'm going to break down some things that didn't work and what I swapped them with to make just getting dressed easy, and more importantly, making shopping our closets much more of an accessible, easier reality. Because we say it, shop your closet, shop your closet. Here at Decollection, we talk a lot about shop. No. We don't talk a lot about shopping our closets. That's what we talk about all the time. That's all we talk about is shopping our closets, sensible shopping, all of those things. But you can't shop your closets if your closets are not shoppable, okay? Not only does it have to function, but it also has to be a space that inspires you to want to spend time in there. It also has to be aspirational. This closet was not photogenic. I'm just going to say, okay, she was not photogenic. Despite the fact that it is small, is limited in space, it still could function. But the way I had it set up, it wasn't really set up for function. I didn't want to really spend a lot of time in here. So I spent most of the year, if you recall from all of the monthly planning videos, decluttering. And it was a process. And I truly encourage you guys to continue the journey this year, because we're going to be doing that every month as well. We have decluttering goals and challenges every month. But the goal is not to just purge everything from your closet and then say, okay, I feel so much better and now I have to like buy more things. No, we were very intentional about that. We've all seen our favorite content creators and people on TV with these beautiful, extravagant closets, right? And some closets that are simple but still very aspirational. And so I didn't set out to try to recreate that, because this is not like a closet makeover where I was like knocking down stuff and we had thousands of dollars in the budget. You know, we weren't going to like Crate and Barrel and like, just give me all new everything. Like, no, this is a rental closet. Okay, one. So we're not making a lot of investments in it. But even compared to the closets that I've had in the homes that I owned, this to me is still miles beyond what I had back then, even with just slightly more space. So I'm really proud of this, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about it and showcase some of the tools and organization resources that really help to make this closet not only function again, but aesthetically pleasing. Like, I just love spending time in here. Okay, but let's get into what we came here to talk about. Ciao. We're gonna start with the first closet tool that I had to break up with, is the sweater cubby organizer. Okay, these cubbies don't work. They don't work. It's just like most boxes, you know, like when you see people, especially like a lot of the standard closets, and they look nice and they're chic. You could like stick some shoes, you could stick a bag, you could stack some jeans, you could stack some sweaters, and that's nice and fine and dandy for stacking sweaters and jeans and probably not pants, but like denim. But you got to fold it neatly, and everything has to be folded symmetrically, and it just has to look good. And that's fine like the first time around, right? And especially like, oh, I'm going to take a picture, production, bah! But every day trying to wear it and then take something out, put something in, especially if you have to take something out from the middle, you have to squeeze, like try to squeeze that little sweater out and everything else stays intact. You know how like when you go to the store, right? So I could not live like that. And I bought a few of them to organize my sweaters, some cardigans, and also like some knit skirts, right? I thought it'd be perfect. You could roll them up, tuck them in there. They look cute and nice and neat, right? But the problem is the canvas material that is used is kind of flimsy, so it just doesn't look clean and straight, right? Like a nice straight box. And especially the more stuff you put in there. Okay, we had a lot of stuff. We decluttered, but we still had a lot of stuff. We like our stuff. Okay, so it was just not looking good. And I was like, this is messy. What I realized is, for me, I can't just have an organization resource that just organizes something and then it just looks good once everything is organized. It has to be easy to keep organizing it. I have to be able to keep organizing it. It has to be easy for me to do that. So that was the issue that I had with the sweater cubby organizer. So what I had to do was just find something else. So I didn't replace the cubbies. I kept them, but in its place, or in addition to the cubbies, I bought all of these wicker baskets, and I bought them in different styles because I was not going to try to figure out if I could find like 10 in the same exact pattern. So I was like, you know what, this is going to be organic. And I didn't buy it all at one time. This was over the course. I have, how many do I have? I have about 6 of them. And I bought them all over the course of like a 6-month period, or even like longer than that. So here's the thing about these wicker cubbies or wicker baskets, and you've seen them, you probably have them, you use them for different organization in your home. You can't put all of your fabrics in there. So you can't put your delicate stuff. Nothing knit. So the only thing you really could put, like I have my jeans, my denim is in here, if you can see. And then I have some of the previous cubbies. I bought these wide enough and big enough so they could squeeze and fit right in it. So I'm getting, 2 for 1. Well, I did pay 2 separate prices, but we ain't gonna worry about that, child. So I'm getting the look, I'm getting the aesthetic that I want, and I'm still protecting my knitwear and, some of your silk or your satin pieces. You don't want them to get snagged from the basket weaving. Anyway, so you could keep them in those cubbies. You already bought them, right? You might as well, use them and let them do some more work. So you get the look, but you also get the protection from the original cubbies, and everybody's happy, right? So like I said, it was a fail because it made the closet just visually unappealing. It looked busy, just untidy. And that's not a closet that's going to be inspiring. I'm not going to want to really come in here and spend a lot of time in here. I'm definitely not going to record in here, which is why I didn't all year long. I had to set very clear expectations about what this closet could be versus what I ultimately wanted it to be. And I will say that the overall aesthetics of what it is today is not necessarily what I set out to achieve, because, so it's twofold. One, as I said, some of the organization tools that I had did not work, and I wanted it to be very like streamlined, very like modern and sophisticated, but because those tools, those resources did not work, and to me it just created more chaos, I had to nix that. And then simultaneously, my oldest daughter, Jordan, I was helping her explore her earthy, bohemian, chic style. And if you recall, we did a video together. We went shopping. We did 2 videos together, actually. So anyway, the first video, we went to her home and we checked out her closet. And I was like, I was like, Paul, maybe we need to pause on the shopping, and maybe we need to focus on the closet and organizing this closet. And she's like, oh no, my closet is fine. And I'm like, define fine. Define fine, okay? But okay, that's not what we're here for, okay? So in the back of my mind, I was like, that's a project. We're going to get to that project. And I would send her some Pinterest pictures and some closet inspiration, things like, ooh, look, this style would be so great with your closet. I can help you reorganize it like this. And she was like, she wasn't trying to hear it. She wasn't trying to hear it. So of course, now that's part of my algorithm. So it was all of these boho, Moroccan, very chic, earthy, cool, and sophisticated aesthetic closets that kept coming up in my feed. And I would just keep pinning them. And so once I realized that the closet tools that I was trying to use weren't working, I said, you know what? What my biggest thing is, I need a way to hide the clutter, because I can organize things, but I need to be able to hide it because it doesn't always look organized. Okay. So the lesson learned, right? Because I had to break up with him. It's like, just because, you know, something may be good for organization doesn't mean it's going to be good for your aesthetic. Doesn't mean that it's going to be good on display. Okay. The second fool, and this one is a fool, and I mentioned it before in my previous videos. I'm talking about the tiered hanging organizers. If you see this on TikTok, wherever you see people talking about buy this now, I'm telling you, it doesn't always work that well. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I don't know what your experience is going to be with it. The whole point of this is that it's supposed to maximize your space, because you can put a certain number of items on, click on here, and you could tier them. So instead of just having like a space of like 3 hangers, now you have 1 hanger with 3 items tiering, right? But to me, it did not function well because it was not easy. And I don't know why, but it was not easy to take them off and put them back on the tiers. It just was a nightmare. It literally was. And I would just not even want to deal with something. So if I took a shirt, and then especially like if you need it, like, let me see. I don't have any more. I got rid of them all. I'm trying to see if I had one. So like, for example, if I had some, okay, so you have your tier 1, and you have tier 2, especially if you had an item on tier 2, you had to almost remove all 3 tiers to get that one item off. For whatever reason, it just wasn't easy. And kind of like pushing them in and out, like taking it out and like trying to push things back into the closet neatly. They just kind of got tangled, right? With like the other hang. It was just not easy. So I completely got rid of those. And I was also in the process of getting velvet hangers anyway, because I knew that essentially that maximizes the space. So the heavy duty plastic hangers that I had, like these, they take up a lot more space because obviously they're thicker. Like this one in particular is very thick, right? It's very wide. The head is wide. The hanger head part is very wide, has a lot of girth. And so it takes up more space in your closet. So when we don't have a lot of space, and I had a debacle with the closet, which I had too many things and it was heavy, and the whole thing came down. So that's going to add more weight as well. So I was in the process of replacing all of my hangers, all of the plastic hangers with the velvet hangers, because the velvet hangers, and I don't have, where's my velvet hanger? The velvet hangers, as you can see, are much more thinner, slender, slimmer, narrow head. So they take up less space, and they're also easy. Like, it's just better for your clothes to hang on these. You don't have to worry about them falling, especially if you have some of the softer fabrics like your satin, your silk, and maybe even some of that cute polyester, that shiny polyester. It just slips off of the hangers. So as I said before, I was in the process of replacing all of the plastic hangers with these anyway. And so I was just like, this is eliminating or creating more space. And here's the gag. When I got the tiered hanging organizers, I did about, I would say about like this quarter, like a big chunk of the closet, right? And to me, when I looked at it before and after, it didn't really look like it saved that much space. And I kept saying, like, that's weird math. Like, that math doesn't make sense. Obviously, I have half of the actual hanging headspace being used. It should feel like I should look at it and it should feel like I'm using less space. But in theory, the same amount of like the bulk of the clothes was still in the closet. So essentially, it didn't really change the overall volume of clothes. And so just looking at it, it just didn't, it wasn't like a before and after, like, oh my goodness, now you have more space. It didn't do that. So to me, it just didn't make sense. And when I tell you, it was so chaotic. It was so chaotic, and I just didn't want to take clothes off, and I didn't want to put clothes back on, which means that now I have like a pile of clothes here, and then I was like randomly just kind of like hanging up clothes here in the meantime until I like had time or energy to want to reorganize everything on the tiers. And I'm just like, that's not the point of like reorganizing my closet. That doesn't make me want to shop my closet. Like, it's not going to happen. So I had to just completely get rid of those and replace everything with this. And this, it just makes sense. It's so much better. Who's the third guy we broke up with? Because we had to stand Mr. Tear hanging, organizing himself. We had to stand him packing, okay? So you know how they be lying to you in the beginning. I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna change your life. Okay. The third jerk we had to break up with in 2025 is the tiered trouser hanger, okay? Like, no way. Like, go straight to jail. Don't collect 200. Like, no, you gotta go. This tool, I've had this for years. And I've used it, and then I said, no, it didn't work. And then I tried to, like, you know how you do, you break up, you get back together. You're like, oh, you know, we did have some good times. But truthfully, this is it for him. He's packing. He's on his way out. Like, he does not work. And somebody was saying that maybe if I get one that's not metal, maybe if I get the velvet tiered trouser pant. So I may try that. But the system that I have so far is working. So we'll see. But what I don't like about this is that the trousers slide right off. They don't stay on. And mainly because trousers are made with, they got a lot of viscose in it. So they could flow. You know, maybe if I had like all wool trousers. No, because that's not true. Because at one point in time, I did have denim on here. And so the denim is not as slippery, right? It's not going to fall off. But it just doesn't look neat. You have to do a lot of maintenance to keep it looking neat. So every time you take something off and then something falls here, and then you got to balance this side, make sure this is not falling off. And then again, like I said, just making sure that you fold everything and it laps over and it has the perfect crease every single time. That's too much work. No, closet organization should be helpful. It should not be another job. It should not be another task. And I just had to get rid of this. So I have not used this in years. And I, like, again, when I was trying to figure out how to make more space, especially because I got to make space for somebody else's trousers now, I was like, oh, we'll use this. And I did temporarily, and I just knew it wasn't going to work, and it didn't work. So we moved to just some pants hangers. Okay. Got these regular plastic pants hangers from Amazon, and so far they've been working well. Okay, now what I will say is that the quality is not that great. So it comes to like, I think it's like 50 in a pack, and maybe like 2 of them were kind of like loose and then like broke, but it was okay so far, I think. And I've only used it for his pants, haven't used it for mine, so we're good. We haven't run out yet, haven't even used all of them. So I would say for the price, it's worth it. It's not, you know, this wasn't a big investment, but certainly you can get something that's probably even more heavy duty. So if I needed to hang up my denim using a system like this, I probably would not get this brand, this particular one. Okay, who else we broke up with? Oh, child. Okay. Now this, when I bought this, I really thought that this was going to be the piece de resistance of the closet. Like, I was like, okay, you know, we got we organizing the sweaters, check. Okay, we got some cubbies for the shoes, check. You know, we're doing some things. And then I was like, what about the belts? Because the belts have always been a problem. I don't have a lot of belts. I'm not a big belt girl, you know, short torso. It doesn't always work with me. But if you do wear something that's elongating and sometimes you want to cinch your waist in, the right kind of belt could work. So I do have some belts. Plus, you know, you just need belts for function. Just, you know, keep your pants up sort of thing. So, but I've never had a real system for belts. And I had them on, I don't even know where I had them, quite frankly. I think I used to just keep them on a regular hanger. But anyway, when I found this, I thought this was a flex, child. I was like, oh, this is so smart. It's going to look cool. This is called, what is this thing called? Oh, this is a rotating belt hanger. So I thought it was going to be so cool because, like, these move, right? And so it's like, oh, I'm over here, but I can get the belt from over here. You know, it's over here, but I'm there. This might be worse. than the tiered hanging, because it's like, it's so chaotic. The belts get tangled. They're not easy to, it's not easy to get the belt off. Like, I literally have to take this whole thing down. I have to, like, because I had it up there, I have to take this down and pick a belt off. And then sometimes I'm like, and I don't want something where I have to take the whole thing out, right? I want to be able to take what I need and put the rest back, and and just keep the system in place where it is, take what I need off of it. But I could never do that. It was a tangled, just chaotic mess. So I decided that I'm not using that. I still don't quite know. So what I have, let me show you what I have. So I know they have some belt tools that you can buy that keeps them coiled nicely and all that. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to really invest in that. Obviously, it's not that expensive, but now I have to figure out the space. And I just don't want to do it right now, just to be perfectly honest. So I had this little cubby. I think I got this from my office somewhere. They have like a this like take it table. Like, people have like extra office like organization things that they just have around, they don't want it. So I was like, okay, I could probably do something with this. Anyway, so I keep all the belts in here nicely. Well, it's supposed to be nicely coiled, but they don't stay coiled. But I think they're fine. Okay, so I think the belts are fine. And for me, belts are not a big investment, so it is what it is. Okay. But yeah, so far this system is working well. Okay, like I said, I do want to, maybe, not sure, that's not like a big, like, gotta have that. We'll see, because I haven't even worn belts. I don't know when the last time I wore a belt. So again, for me to make any amount of investment in it is just not, it's not practical right now. It's not sensible, because I don't spend that much time with my belts in order to really care about my, and I have some good looking belts too, you know. Okay. But again, not anything that I've made like major investments in. Like, I have some really good leather belts too, you know. This is one of my favorite old school leather belts. But she's fine. Okay, they're all fine in here. I promise you, initially I did coil them, you know, into like a nice circle, but they came undone. So here we are. But so this system is working for me. If you have a nice little cute little cubby, and again, like, aesthetically, you see what I'm saying, it hides it, and I just stick it in that thing and I ain't even gotta worry about it. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do with our belts, because that tiered, she's a lie, and we don't like liars. They lie. Okay, so I think that's it for the tools that did not work. Again, because we spent so much time decluttering, for me, this closet, it serves two purposes, or like, it's all about the visuals, because I want to be able to spend a lot more time in here. So it has to be aesthetically pleasing to my eye, to my comfort. Like, I had to be able to move and walk around in here and want to be in here, because for a long time I just didn't want to. So that helps. So the key was having fewer systems. I didn't have to have all of these organization hacks and tools. Just if I minimize my systems and just have the best ones that work for me. And as I said before, the aesthetic matters because it actually affects behavior. If your closet looks good, if it feels good, if you feel like everything is at reach, then you're going to want to actually spend more time in here. Shop in your closet, shop your closet. Because if I don't love looking at my closet, I'm not going to use it well. I'm not going to probably use it at all. I'm just like, child, close that door. Let's go shopping. So the wicker baskets were a game changer. Okay. It just created this, like, I'm away. Okay. I'm abroad somewhere feel. Like, I love this look so much. I feel like I need to replace half of my wardrobe with like Afghans and Afghans and kimonos. Like, when I come in here, I feel like I'm away somewhere. I know you guys are looking like, girl, it ain't, like, it's not that serious, but it is for me, because one, that was the intentionality of this, and I feel like I've achieved that with some of the elements that I put in here. So that's where I am. Okay, I'm away. I don't know what y'all doing. Okay, so it doesn't have to have, like, everything didn't have to be uniform, but it had to be neat, right? And so, as I said before, I knew that I couldn't just go into, you know, TJ Maxx and Marshalls, that's where I got most of these baskets, by the way, and just say, oh, I'm going to get the same basket. But everything had to look like it had to work in here. So I did have to, like, I would buy something, put it in here, and I was like, oh, it didn't work, and I would go and exchange it for something else that worked. So again, adding to the aesthetic, but also maintaining that function that I needed for the baskets. So very quickly, because I don't know how much time we're gonna have for this video, but I do want to kind of go over very quickly how I organized everything to make sense for me, for the function, and then also for the aesthetic. So initially, for whatever reason, I had my dresses here, but I always had like my short jackets, even some of the heavier winter coats, but that were just like short or medium length. I always had them here. Then I would have like dresses here, and then I had some blazers here. So it made it seem too cluttered, right? Because you have this like long thing covering, you had all the dresses covering here, and having all the dresses as the focal point of the closet was just not visually appealing. So I like that when I walk into the closet, the first thing I see are like shirts and blazers, because they tend to be a lot more symmetrical than your dresses. So I pushed the dresses back, and I do like the look of dresses. So I do have some of the dresses here, and then we have all of the guys stuff hidden. I try to tuck it in as much as possible. I mean, I love him, but you know, I like to see pretty things. Even though like some of my blazers look like his blazers. And then he'll be like, you know what, he's such a hater, y'all, because every time I add something to this closet, it's like he kind of feels, he probably gets a sense that I'm like pushing his stuff further and further away, or making his space smaller and smaller, which is not true, okay? Because it ain't like he's trying to fill this space up, right? So you get what you need, you get what you deserve. So every time I add something in here, like just make it look prettier, or some other like basket of sort, he's just like, not right away, not his response to me doing that, but like maybe a day or two later, he's like, I have some more clothes to put in the closet, you know, can you tell me where my stuff go? And I'm like, why do you keep asking that? I told you, you know where your stuff is. He's like, oh, because sometimes I can't find my stuff. You can find your stuff, sir. You can find your stuff very well. But the point is too, like, are you going to put your stuff in the closet? Are you going to wear something and put it back in its proper place? Okay. Okay. But anyway, so it is organized like that. Okay. So we got shirt. And then of course, I don't know how you guys like to organize your closets. You know, a lot of people like to organize by color. That does make sense. But you also, to me, color has to function with season. Okay. And also the actual item. So I can't just like have red, pink, and then blue, green, right? Like it has to, because then like, do I have summer in here? Do I have spring? Do I have winter? Like it has to do all of the things. It is somewhat organized by shirts. So like I have, which you can't really see, I should stand up for this, but like I have all my plaids. See, here's one plaid, two plaid, three plaids, all in one section. I have denim shirts in one section, and then I have like my florals in one section. Then I have, so these are all shirts, and then I have all my white shirts. I have like pink shirts here. I have everything color coded as much as they possibly can be. White, and then braids down to my white with colors, and then I go into black shirts. And then my blazers kind of do the same thing. The dresses, I think, yeah, the dresses are somewhat arranged by color as well. But again, everything is arranged by item, season, and then color within those functions. So, and it just works. Down here, all the jackets, coats, and then I have all of my full length coats to the back. Not to mention, I just have some stuff around too, child, because, you know, I need stuff that I could just easily grab. And then I like to kind of sprinkle, you know, some other clothes around the closet just to kind of make it come to life. In other words, I'm decorating my closet with clothes to add some more decorative flair to the closet. So find pieces that you like, put them somewhere to give it some charm, just to create some aesthetic appeal. So it works. I like it. Before we go, let's talk about the budget. I'm going to call this a closet new look. So this closet new look, again, not a complete makeover. We didn't demo anything. We didn't get anything built in. We didn't have no fancy shelves or anything like that. But that's okay, because we don't need that. Okay. This whole thing, this whole project was under $500. Okay. Calculations. So the hangers, 160 velvet hangers. And I bought one pack of 60 and one pack of 100. That was about $41. Pant hangers. We got the sweater organizers that we don't use, shelf organizers, the clothes hanging organizers. Oh, we have these shoe organizers. That was $40. The belt hangers, which that was trash. Okay, that was $8.62. So that wasn't, we ain't too mad about that. We got another shirt organizer that we have neatly tucked under here. It's very accessible. That was $13.28. The wicker baskets, some of them were like $14.99 up to like $16.99. The total for that was about $140 for 6 of those. I got a nice little animal print rug from Ross just to add some more flair. That was $20. The shelf organizer, that was probably the most expensive thing in here, where I decided to put some bags and accessories like fabric tape. So that was $54.99. So in total, it was about $467. With taxes, it's $486. So we're under $500 for this new look. Not a complete makeover, but a new look to the closet and a new function. You can't shop your closet if your closet doesn't look good, doesn't feel good, you don't want to be in there, it's not organized, it's not decluttered. Figure out what style suits you. Keep it simple, keep it organic. Again, this took me an entire year. And $500 is not really a lot of money, right? In the grand scheme of things. I mean, most of you guys, y'all got the big bucks, you know what I'm saying? Y'all could do that in one shot, like one weekend, or you could do it over the course of 2 or 3 months. But I just really took my time with it because I was shopping for other things. And the reason why I did that is because I knew that like it was just a big project, like actually decluttering everything as we did month by month, and then having to reorganize the closet because we still got to use the closet every day. And decluttering and actually using my closet and buying a tool and then using that tool and then it doesn't work, I realized what worked and what didn't work. So that's why this project took so long. But no closet makeover, restyle, new look, or even shop in your closet would truly be complete, and I would even say efficient, without using a tool like wearing. Okay, now I'm not necessarily plugging wearing. I am actually, kind of endorsing it. I'm not getting paid, I should say, but I love the wearing app. So it doesn't have to be this app. It could be any app that you're probably using, but any kind of inventory app is a game changer, because I don't care how big or how small, how organized, how cluttered your closet is. If you don't actually know what's in your closet, and if you don't actually have a visual inventory of everything that's in your closet, you're not going to be able to shop your closet. And this is why we've been in this predicament year after year, where we're buying more stuff and spending more money unnecessarily. And when I tell you this closet is so inspiring now, I feel good about coming in here and actually sitting in here. It changes a lot. Like I could read in here and I could do a lot in here. But most importantly, I do want to spend time in here. It's important to know what's in your closet. And the only way, as I said, you're going to truly know what's in your closet is if you have an inventory of what's in your closet. Like all of my shoes are not in here because I have some under the bed organizers. I still have a lot of things in my drawer, in the dresser. So I can't possibly know everything that's in my closet. Not to mention that I haven't yet inventoried everything old and some of the new purchases, which I'm going to get to that, child. So again, that was a year-long project. So all these things that we're talking about, no one's expecting you to do it overnight. It's just like, saving money, right? It's a process. You can't just say, oh, this month I'm going to save all the money that I'm going to need for the year. Like, it probably doesn't work that way. So everything that we do is very intentional, but it's also very procedural. It's a process. So we're not rushing. We are going into it with ease and comfort and a calmness, because we know what our intentions are. So we don't have to like declutter 1,000 items in a weekend and feel like we purged our lives of something that's toxic. Doing that is probably more symbolic of other things unrelated to your clothes and your stuff that you need to get rid of in your life, girl. I'm just telling you, maybe it's him. Maybe it got nothing to do with the clothes, okay? So everything that we do this year is going to be slow moving, but it's going to have big impact. Every month we're going to have a plan. We have goals for the whole year, and every month our decluttering goals, our shopping goals or shopping intentions are going to lead us closer to fulfilling and achieving those goals. So that is all for today. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for sticking to the end of this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.